we're entering into the House of a Thousand Corpses today. And I already have a feeling that Gene probably hates this movie, but there's a lot of interesting stuff to talk about here. Let's see where Gene's at with House of a Thousand Corpses.
I just got to say, I had really high expectations going into this movie. Look, Roger has the DVD, of course.
That's the DVD, yeah.
Look, scary looking, right? Right? Scary. Look on the back, horrific images. Yeah, even the title, House of a Thousand Corpses. Look, even on the inside. You're just thinking, it's just going to be this horrific, like, movie. It's taken off, has a lot of themes from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I appreciate. So I was kind of looking forward to like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of thing. I just have to say I was probably the most disappointed I have ever been with a movie in my entire life of watching movies, where you go in and you have some expectations of entertainment, or you're going to see something that's remotely worthwhile, or there's some reason why you're there watching it. And then just really rapidly, it became apparent that this movie has it's a lie. This movie is a complete lie. It is not scary at all. This right here hardly happens. It makes no sense. It's more of a horror comedy of anything, and parts of it are just downright silly. And just casting is just, you got to be kidding me.
The cast is amazing.
One of the major characters is Rainn Wilson. It's it's Dwight from The Office. I mean, come on. You cannot take this movie seriously with Dwight. It's just,
of course, pre.
And then there's Harris, two years previous, but yeah, still. Harrison Young, the dad from Saving Private Ryan, is in this. This movie is just Sherry Moon Zombie, this crazy woman right there. She's actually the wife of Rob Zombie. It's just like, the only horrific thing that I found in this whole movie, pays homage to lots of other movies. And actually it seemingly pays homages to real life events.
Yep.
Because there was this one scene where this girl, her character is chasing another woman character out in the field, and she tackles her and ends up stabbing her. And it kind of reminded me of the killing in the Manson Tate LaBlanca murders from 1969, when Patricia Krenwinkel chased Abigail Folger, as Abigail Folger had escaped the house where the killings were taking place, and was running across the lawn to her freedom. But Patricia chased her down and tackled her and stabbed her to death. And so there was a scene that kind of reminded me of that, and I think that in a way they're paying homage to that. And I actually looked this up, and Abigail Folger, the last name Folgers, is the Folger from the Folgers coffee, And so they've, of course, exerted their influence. And to this day, Patricia Krenwinkel is still in prison. So I'm not going to make any comments on that. She did something horrific. Yeah. So this movie pays homage or reference to a lot of things. But as for entertainment value, a lot of things happen that just seem out of the blue. Like towards the end, they enter this cavernous, like these caves, this labyrinth of caves, which you just wonder would take a lot of energy and money and finances to build. And there are these, there's this, like, I think thousands of corpses. It comes from, at the end, that woman she's running, well, actually a different woman. She's running down this underground passage, and it's lined with the corpses of these people. And it's like, the movie doesn't explain really where these people came from. What's the force behind any of it? It's just like they're just there. I don't know. The movie, I was so incredibly disappointed. Roger, I got to say, I hate this movie. I hate it. I hate it. Not that it's horrific and good. No, it's not horrific and it's not good. It's just, it has nothing really going for it. I think that Rob Zombie had a budget of, he doesn't even know how much money he spent on this movie, but it ended up making a little bit of money. Mm-hmm. And so I think he just got some money, had some ideas, and they shot it over a month at different locations, and I think they had a good time making a movie.
So, of course, I love this movie.
Yes, of course.
Absolutely love it.
Why?
People who have watched this show a lot or who know me personally know the more insane your movie is, the more I'm going to like it. And this movie certainly fits into, and everything Gene just said about stuff happens that doesn't make any sense. It comes out of the blue. That's why I love this movie.
Yeah, they lower the girl in the coffin with the other two dead bodies, and she's alive, and then there's water. Then all of a sudden, these zombie-like creatures appear.
Well, they're failed experiments of Dr. Satan. And that's why I love it, because it's very reminiscent of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and other 70s style grindhouse kind of movies.
Yeah.
The only complaint I have with this movie, which is it a complaint? Yes, I guess it is, even though it adds to the overall bizarre nature of it, is I think Rob Zombie was doing a lot of experimentation on this film.
Yes,
because he does a lot of negative shots and a lot of cutaway shots to unrelated things that are happening, as rather than doing a fade out to a new scene, he does that. And that detracts, I think, a lot from what he's trying to do with this film.
And Rogers, it's like the cinematography was straight out of the 1970s TV show.
Right.
You know, the cinematography was on the quality of, like, you know, Archie Bunker, you know, like that all in the family. It's just terrible. And they had the 1970s kind of split screen thing going on. It's just,
definitely was doing some Brian De Palma action there for sure.
Yeah.
But there is some cinematic thought put into this film, because I really do enjoy there's a sequence where the police show up finally to the house, and there's this really amazing scene where Bill Moseley, who of course we all love and remember from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Chop Top, has captured one of the police officers, and the police officer is down on his hands and on his knees. Yes. Bill Moseley has the gun right to him, and the camera is pulling way back away, and it's about as artistic as Rob Zombie can probably get. And so I really like some of the choices he made there. I also like the chaotic nature of the overall family. Karen Black is in this.
Karen Black, yes.
You may remember from Trilogy of Terror, the Zuni doll episode. Which
she's done a lot of movies.
She has, of course.
Easy Rider, of course.
Well, that's a different kind of horror if you're going to go there. But Trilogy of Terror.
20 years before.
Yeah, Trilogy of Terror, of course, was she was in all three of the little short stories there in that film. But the only one anyone ever remembers is the Zuni doll one at the end, because that was amazing. But she plays this overly sexually seductive
She's
mother.
Like the matriarch of this nonsense.
And there's
nonsensical family.
Sherry Moon Zombie, of course, as the most grating character. Her name is Baby in this film, and she's got this laugh, and she's really psychotic and crazy, and probably modeled after some of the behaviors of the Manson girls.
Yes.
There's a great appearance by Matthew McGrory, who you remember from a number of films where they need a really large person.
Yeah, he was in Big Fish. Probably one of his bigger roles is Big Fish. He passed away in his 30s.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, yeah.
But he's in it as a character named Tiny, which I just loved that, of course.
Right, because it's 7 feet 6 inches tall. Right. That's his real height.
Yeah, and there's a great scene where he's eating cereal, which I just loved that scene.
Out of a dog bowl.
Right.
Like, come on.
And so that's
he has a mask.
And that's the chaotic nature of this film, where, yes, do things work properly as far as a film is concerned? No. Do they just throw random things in that just come out of nowhere? Yep. Yes. That's why this movie is great. It's got a real, and Gene's right, there is some comedic elements, some dark comedy elements to this film, but there's also this kind of nastiness playing over the top of it, which I think is kind of the homage to that 70s grindhouse stuff there, because Bill Moseley's character has captured a bunch of cheerleaders at the beginning, and he is doing some pretty repellent things with them and tormenting them, and it is very mean-spirited.
Yeah, I would say, however, the editing, the way they've done the editing, kind of like, because that should be those should be scenes of high tension, revulsion, and they're just not, because I think he just blows it with his editing. He tells it almost like an afterthought. Like the main part of the story is happening over here, and then let's just switch over here to watching some cheerleaders, meet their demise, and then we switch back, but over here it's short, disjointed, and it builds no tension. There's no rising action. It just falls flat.
Right.
It's meaningless. It's nothing.
This film came out finally in 2003 because it had originated with Universal Pictures. They decided they weren't going to release it unless there was significant cuts made to it. And then even then it was like, no, we're going to pass. So then Rob Zombie shopped it over to, I think it was MGM. And they said, well, we're going to go ahead and cut it, which they did. And then they decided, we're just not going to release it. And so I'm not sure what the original version of this film really was, because I think some of that editing might be because, I just have this chopped up print now. How do I try to reconstruct what I wanted to show? Because Rob Zombie in interviews has said, like the Rainn Wilson character gets turned into Fishman, which is great. But he said,
when we see his body there, and he has a mermaid tail,
right?
And it's just ludicrous. It's not scary at all. It makes it seem like a horror comedy. It's like, what?
Well, but Rob Zombie said there was a whole sequence where I showed what was really happening there to turn him into Fishman, and that's all lost footage at this point. And
that's studio meddling,
things
for
like
sure,
that. And so
talked about.
There was a lot of stuff, I think, that got changed in this movie, which was out of Rob Zombie's control. He actually owns this movie now, because the way it got released finally was he bought the rights back from MGM, and then Lionsgate took it over and released it. Very limited release, of course, although it made its money back. It actually pretty much doubled its money, which led to 2 sequels of this film, one of which is Devil's Rejects, the first sequel after this, which is actually a real straightforward movie. It's not really a horror movie. It's more of an action road picture, but it is great. And then the more recent one is 3 from Hell, which is not very good. But my point is, Lionsgate then did a really limited release, and so it didn't get the exposure that I think it probably deserved to try, and has really gained its following after the theatrical release. And Rob Zombie has even said, everybody hated this movie when it came out, and now a lot of people really love it. Where were you guys back in 2003, right? Well, they probably weren't even like that, they probably weren't even born yet. But it did well enough, like I said, to have a sequel that came out, a few years later. I also really enjoy Sid Haig in this. He plays Captain Spaulding, which he's this kind of demented evil clown guy.
The best character.
He is awesome.
This guy.
Of course, the main characters are all named after Marx Brothers characters in various movies as well. You've got Firefly and Spaulding and stuff like that. So
don't these Firefly people, they appear in the sequels?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Devil's Rejects is kind of a crime action road movie where Bill Moseley, Sid Haig, and Sherry Moon Zombie are on the lam, and all sorts of crazy stuff's happening. You would probably actually enjoy that movie because it is a traditional narrative structure as opposed to the chaotic nature of this one. It's good.
Kind of like the Road Warrior, where they're fleeing.
It's more like they're being pursued by police and things like that, and so it's like a I don't know, like a 30s gangster, Bonnie and Clyde.
Do you know this
reference?
Do you know? Sorry, but do you know this reference? Dirty Mary, Crazy
Larry.
Do you know this? Do you know this
of
Dirty Mary,
course.
Crazy Larry?
Nothing can stop us now.
Except
This random train.
a random train. Let me just throw that out there.
Well, that's great. 2 Peter Fonda references in one show.
That's
Easy
right.
Rider and
2 Peter Fonda in about 5 minutes. Yeah. So yeah. If anything, go see Dirty Mary and Crazy Larry. Yeah, because let's just forget that. Yeah. But yeah, that movie is 100 times better than this thing.
But one of the stories I do want to share. When this movie first came out, I was working at a place where I had 2 female.
Is that your video store?
Two female employees. No, this was when I was working at.
I thought you were going to say I had 2 female girlfriends.
No, they were
At
not.
the same time.
No, well, that's never happened to me. But we would do half-day Fridays at work, and we would go see a movie every once in a while. And so we would kind of pick the movies. You know, each person would pick one, and you'd go see it. And so I had sat.
So wait. So you were like the manager then. So
Yeah.
you closed the store,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of running the store, you guys would just go off and just see a movie.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
So that's great.
That's how we roll sometimes. You know, team
Gotta do
building,
it.
right? Team building.
Team building. Yeah.
And so I had ended up seeing movies like, I think one of them was that stupid, what was it, Down with Love or something, where they're singing and things and blah, you know. So it was 2 girls, right? So I had to sit through these girl movies that they really enjoy.
Yeah, Down with Love does that McGregor, right?
I don't remember. It's just, but anyway,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it was my revenge on what they were forcing me to sit through, but this movie had such a limited release that it was only going to play the weekend, I think, at our theater up here. And so it opened on a Friday, of course, and the first showing was at noon, which was right in line with Half Day Friday, right? So it was like, well, it's my pick, so we're going to go see House of a Thousand Corpses.
No, you made 2 girls,
And
your employees, go see this piece of garbage.
Yeah, and so we sat in that theater.
Did they quit?
No, they were team players. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And yes, I'm certain to this day they remember sitting through this thing because they did not have a good time.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, and that's the other thing about this film. This is not a good place to start if you're not a horror film fan. Like Gene said, it pulls from a lot of other movies. Your enjoyment, if you have such a thing with this film, will be because, oh, that was like from Texas Chainsaw, and and this and this and this, and because there is a pretty cool scene. I love when he's wearing her dad's face. I just love that, and tormenting her and things like that. So there's lots of callbacks to other movies. I highly recommend this film, of course. Gene absolutely hates it.
Don't ever watch this movie.
And I think that's the...
Because, again, all this is a lie. You think it's horrific, scary. It's none of that.
But I think
not.
that this is... what you're seeing here right now, this is kind of the general public. You're either going to be absolutely hate this movie and it's garbage, or you're going to be, oh my gosh, what a gem this film is.
It's not a gem. Well, of course, Rogers loves it. Of course, you got to respect. You got to love it. You love it. Then,
Yeah, you. Everyone's got their opinion. Yeah, and I certainly respect Gene's because I've run into plenty of people that are like, oh my God, this is a piece of garbage. But I've also run into plenty of people who are, I love this movie. Gene, anything more to say about this thing?
Again, it's just 2003. They're in Hollywood. They're actors, and you see them, and you know them from other roles. And so the movie started losing it almost from the get-go, because there's this guy. I think he goes into this gas station. I recognize him. He was the guy from the Star Trek episode way back from the 60s. The episode where it's like, tell him, Jim.
That's Michael J. Pollard.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, this movie's not going to go anywhere.
Rob Zombie did get an interesting cast of people.
Yeah, interesting cast. I mean, he was a good actor. He did his role in this movie. So, but it's not kind of distracting. I guess because I'm such a huge Trekkie. I'm a nerd Trekkie. But again, the movie could have had better characters, a better, more tight storyline, and this could have been genuinely scary. It really had all the elements. It was right there, but they just made it silly.
Yeah.
And all that really ridiculous editing. It's just, and the cinematography. Come on.
Yeah, I think if you are like me and really enjoy completely insane batshit movies, this is one of them. So definitely check it out. But Gene, what are we doing next week?
What did we talk about? I just forget. We just mentioned it. We're gonna go see. It made me think of it. But this movie to me is like an attempt at horror comedy. Although it does, I don't know. The one part of this movie that does work for me is again, I mentioned it earlier, is where the one girl, the crazy girl, this one, is chasing a victim and captures her and ends up doing her in. That's like the horrific element reminiscent of a real life event. But overall, this attempt at horror comedy. So I thought next week we would do a horror comedy.
Okay.
Like another attempt at horror comedy. Bodies.
Okay, we will check that one out and see what we think of that one.
Yeah, bodies. Yeah, so leave comments. Have you seen this movie? What do you think of this thing? Are you on my side? Hate it? Or Roger's side? It's like this guy. A work of demonic brilliance. Roger Hammaker.
Who's that on there? I always love when they throw the random quotes from critics, quote unquote.
Yeah. Who is this critic here? Los Angeles Times. Oh, okay.
All right. Anyway, we will catch you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.